Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another video for Exploding Kittens, except this is a variant version called Exploding Minions. So if you've heard of Exploding Kittens and it sounds funny, you've heard people talking about it, but you've seen some of the artwork, which is, I can maybe describe as slightly disturbing. The creators of it, Oatmeal, who do the drawings, they are a little odd. Just a sample on the back, nothing too terrible. These aren't even that bad of ones, but they have some that can get a little odd, or maybe that people might not find as friendly. But if you like the concept of the game, they did make the Exploding Minions version, which plays the exact same. We have a picture of one of the minions here. He's stick of dynamite, blows it up, and kind of sees like atomic bombs, everything's on fire. It's kind of neat box art. A card game for people are into bananas and explosions and flaming unicorns and sometimes fire hydrants. So it's going to play exactly the same as Exploding Kittens. So if you played it before, it's nothing. There's nothing like extenuating brand new in here. There is one new type of card. It can mix with the other game if you want. You could 100% mix it in with the other games if you want to add more of the different types of cards. Got some minions on the side. Don't think there's anything special on the back. Nope, just showing off some of that. If you've never played either of them, I'm going to do a quick run through on the rules just in case maybe you're looking into this and you want to know how it plays. So, the basic idea is, we look at how it works. It's in the deck. You have some exploding minions. You play the game by putting the deck face down, taking turns drawing cards until someone draws an exploding minion. So in a 4-player game, you'll have this exploding minion card. If you draw it, you lose. And in a 4-player game, there will be 3 of them in the deck. So eventually, 3 players will draw it, and the 1 person won't because there won't be any left. It explodes that person's out of the game. All the other cards give you powerful tools to help you avoid it. Some that can let you skip turns, look at cards ahead, make other people take multiple turns. And there are diffuse cards which let you actually survive, and then you put that back in the deck. But yeah, if you explode, you lose. If you don't, you win the game. It's very, very simple rules. So that's the general concept. So it's to start by removing all exploding minions from the deck. If you're playing with 2 players, the only cards with the Gru text symbol, so the middle of the symbol in the corner, remove all others from the game. So you can actually, that's just also nice about this, is it has a 2-player mode built right into it. You just take out specific cards and play the game with that. If you're playing with 4 or 5 players, use all the cards. It says then remove all defuse cards and deal 1 to each player. So everyone starts with 1 option to basically stay alive. But there are cards that let you take cards from other players. So you may end up stealing somebody else's. So that's one way that it might not help. Then shuffle the deck, deal 7 cards to each player. Now everyone has a total of cards of 8, 7 cards plus 1 defuse. And then insert enough exploding minions back in the deck so there's 1 fewer, and then reshuffle it. So again, 4-player it'd be 3, 3-player there'd be 2. So it ensures that everyone will explode. And that's it. So then what you do on your turn, you have 2 options. You can either pass by playing no cards, or you can play. And you may play as many cards as you like face up. You can play 1 card, you can play 5 cards. However many you feel like playing. The more cards you play, the more different things that might happen. Some of them might end your turn though. And then after you're done doing either of those, then you draw a card and you see whether if it's an exploding minion, you have to show it to everybody so they know that it's an exploding minion. And then either you can defuse it, which like you shuffle it back in the deck somewhere, which usually you put it under the table, and do that blindly. So that way no one knows where it is, because you could put it like halfway in the deck, you could put it on the top so the next person has to draw it. You could calculate, you know, like, well, I want the third player to get it, you could be like, okay, so if everyone draws one card 3 turns from now, he'll get it in 3 turns. And you could try and strategize that way. That can backfire, though. Any of these can backfire because there's stuff that lets people like shuffle the deck or skip their turn, or make other people draw multiple cards. But it's kind of fun to play around and see if you can do that. Yeah, so either you play the card and you blow up, or you play a diffuse and you don't blow up. And if you blow up, you just sit out. And since this game goes pretty fast, they're usually about, even with 4 players, it can go about 10 minutes because there's not a lot of extra thinking in the game. Every card specifically just says what it does. It's very quick. Yep, and that's how you win the game. And a couple other quick reminder rules. So it's a good strategy to save your cards early in the game where your chances of exploding is low. So it's saying don't, like, turn 1, you don't maybe, turn 1, turn 2, you don't want to burn through all your stuff that lets you search through the deck and discard stuff. You probably want to wait until it's lower to use some of them where you can force other players to do stuff. You can always count the cards left in the draw pile to figure out the odds of exploding. So again, like, if there's 3 people, you can be like, alright, that means 2 of the cards are going to be ones that explode. You like, there's 10 cards left in the deck. So you can kind of maybe try and figure out how many cards you might have to draw, things like that. And then there's no maximum or minimum hand size. You round your cards in your hand. There's no special action. You just keep playing. So that means at the beginning of your turn, if you have no cards, you have to pass and then draw a card. And that's as simple as that. And it had a little breakdown how you play everything. Also on the back of the instructions here, it goes through every single card. So like how many are in each one, one's with or without the GRU text symbol, and then a little bit better explanation on what they do than maybe the card says. So if you are kind of confused, you can actually read these and it gives you just a little bit better description. Alright, that's it. It's a fairly simple, fairly quick game. So we're going to jump in and start looking at what cards you get. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is just look at the... So on the back of all of them, they're going to have exploding minions. That's the only thing that's going to keep you from just straight up buying this and mixing it with your other Exploding Kitten cards. But you could use like opaque backs, sleeves, if you'd like. As you'll notice, I do sleeve my cards. You do not have to. These cards are fairly durable. You know, kind of like you buy a set of like Uno cards, you don't generally sleeve your Uno cards. Or like a playing deck cards, and they last quite a while if you're shuffling and all that. So yeah, if you just have family over and you play these, they'll last. If you don't shuffle them, they're not gonna like tear like the first game or anything. I just sleeve all my cards of any game regardless. But we have exploding minions such as do not push button. Absolutely do not push. And then they push it and they blow up. And then we have he has 2 bombs in his pants and they blow up. So yeah, very, very silly humor. If you've seen anything with the minions, it's probably very familiar. And he's looking at the end of a rocket and he blows up. And ooh, red banana. Not banana. Now what's also neat about the way these work is they kept the same style and theming as the Exploding Kittens. So like the text is the same, like font, it's a black card, little bomb on the top. All the other cards that you get as well are going to be the same. So if we look at diffuse, they're going to have different pictures up in the top, obviously different artwork. But they're the exact same color, so like all the diffuses and the irregular ones. So if you've played Exploding Kittens a bunch and you're used to like, oh, green card does this, red card does this, blue card does this, this is going to be the same thing. They didn't swap any of those. It is also going to say in the bottom corner here, Minions Edition. Just in case for some reason you couldn't tell that by looking at it, but it's a consistency. So here we have diffuse, which says, so the top here is always going to have just like a little bit of flavor text. Just kind of saying what's going on in the card. And then down here will be the actual rules. So it says, instead of exploding, secretly put an exploding minion back into the draw pile. So, diffuse via deep tissue iris spoke dance massage. We have diffuse via banana bed, via passionate karaoke, via noise cancelling headphones, via, okay, I'm gonna Papa Ginia. I'm sure I screwed that word up somehow. Overly flattering portrait, and unlimited ice cream scoops. Just like you're distracting them. The next set of cards we're going to look at are your common cards. So these are the minions. So they're going to be generic in and of themselves. It says this minion character card and it's powerless on its own. Play 2 Kevin and Otto cards as a pair to steal a random card from another player. It's just going to show Kevin Otto. It's going to have that. There's a little Gru text symbol on both corners, and then they put. I like that they put these on all stuff. Like sometimes when people are playing, cards get flipped upside down, and that's sort of the idea of this. Is like if you don't sleeve them and you're just all shuffling, they get tossed in a pile and they get mixed up. As you can pick up your hand, even though the artwork and the text might be upside down, like the general text. Once you learn how to play it enough, you're not gonna probably be looking at the text anymore. You're just going to know what it does by the picture or the color. But yeah, to play these guys, so if you play 2 of them at a time, you have 2, you play them at the same time, you can pick another player and you can randomly pick a card from their hand. This is how you can get their diffuses or one of their other cards you might want. You don't know what they're going to get. Usually you'd have them shuffle up their hand and then hold their hand out and take it, just so they're not... Because some people usually organize their hand while they're playing. If you play a third one, it doesn't list this on here, but Exploding Minions or Kittens has this. This has the same one. If you play 3 of them, you actually get to choose a card from someone's hand. It's a lot harder to get 3, especially since most games there's only, like you're playing a 2-player game. There's only 4 of them. There's only 8 total, so you're going to get 4 with the symbol and 4 without. So getting 3 of them is very difficult, but if you do, you get to actually pick a card from someone's hand. So in the next one is we're going to get Stuart. Same thing. We're just going to get 8 of these, though. So we're going to get 8 more of them. All the same. But now you can't mix Stuart and the Kevin out. It has to be the same one. Same thing here. We have another 8 copies of Bob. So you have to have 2 copies of Bob or 2 copies of Stuart or 2 copies of the Kevin and Otto card. Not just 2 minions. Alright, so those are our generic cards. They don't really do much, so we want to just get through them. Next one we'll look at are the red cards, which are Nopes. So Nopes say, stop the action of another player. You can play this at any time. So this can prevent someone from playing something against you, playing something against somebody else. You know, trying to draw one of your cards, whatever they want to do. You can use this to stop diffuses. You can use this to stop another Nope. So like player 1 can play this to stop player 2 from doing something, and then player 3 could jump in and be like, I'm going to stop your Nope so that his initial action happens. So it's kind of interesting. You just got to think of these to be used anytime you want to stop somebody else from playing another card. So we have lick a spicy jalapeno. Take a spin on a gyro Nope. Power up the Nope bot. Enjoy a night at the Nopera. Trim a carnivorous Nope plant. Launch the Tata Nope. And try your luck on the Wheel of Nope. So yeah, somebody's playing something. The fun part is just like, nope, not letting you play that. Alright, then what we have are yellow-orange cards, which are attacks. You're also going to have a ×2 behind it, and it's just because it says. Do not draw any cards. Force the next player to take 2 turns. So if you play this, you don't have to draw a card. Then the next player has to take 2 turns. Which means each turn is when they have to draw a card. So that means they have to play a card or pass, and then draw a card, and then play a card or pass, and then draw another card. So that's really fun, because then you're making them have to draw 2 cards. So maybe the first time they might just draw a card anyhow, and then the next time they might pass, or then play all their cards, or they might play some cards first to maybe get around that second turn, or do something else. So they can always play an attack right away and then skip it. So the times 2 is the same, because that means they have to do stuff twice. So we have describe a dream in excruciating detail. Strap on some shark skis. Drift with some scavenger minions. Call upon the my ninja and his enchanted banana blade. And release the Octo Minion. So you can use a nope to get around that. It's a good way to do it. Another way to get around that are the blue cards, which are skips. Which say, end your turn without drawing a card. Now, a skip will only let you skip one of those 2 turns you have to take. So you end turn 1 or turn 2. You can't use a skip to get around both of the attacks. Otherwise, just normally it's a great way to not have to draw a card. So you have Ride Away on a Flaming Unicorn. Engage the Butt Rockets. Pole vault your way to victory. Strut off in your fanciest boots. Hitch a ride with a marsupial. And see a movie instead. Alright. And then if we are worried about what's coming up, we could always shuffle the deck. These, brown cards. So just a shuffle the draw pile. This is great, like, for if somebody puts your Exploding Minion back in, you can shuffle it back up, then you don't have any idea where it's at. Or it'll be good for our next, to counter our next card as well. But we'll look at that one in a second. So we have Try Out a New Look. Take some cats for a walk. Experiment with a Swap-O-Meter. And participate in a firefly eating contest for the first and last time. So, other reason you might want to shuffle the deck is because you can see the future. It has a ×3. Privately view the top 3 cards of the draw pile. So you pick up the top 3, you have to keep them in the same order, but you just see what 3 cards are coming up. So this can be very beneficial if you're playing like a 3 or 4 player game. You can see what's going to hit the next player. If you're playing 2 player, you'll be able to see what's going to hit you in 2 turns. But this might be a reason why maybe you want to shuffle the deck, because you've looked and seen what somebody else did. And you want to, like, they put a minion right on top. Now I know I need to shuffle through that. Or, you might look through and see there's something coming up you don't want to deal with, and you want to shuffle the deck. Just kind of a neat way to get around that, too. Alright, so we have Learn What Cat Thinks of You. Enjoy a visit from your older self. Look into the future scope. Consult ancient prophecy. Mind meld with a fortune cookie. Taste the forbidden banana dog. And hire an expensive wizard. And now if you play Exploding Kittens, some of the expansions have ones that go beyond that. They're like, there's See the Future ×5. There's Alter the Future, which lets you actually rearrange the cards. So that's kind of the upside about the Exploding Kittens, because it added expansions. You have other things you can do as well. Same with like attack. They have stuff that lets you do different types of attacks, or super skip and things like that. Alright, now we're going to have the gray card called Draw from the Bottom. End your turn by drawing a card at the bottom of the pile. So again, this could be a way to get around someone possibly putting a exploding minion back in the deck. Or if you've seen the future and you don't like what's on the top, you can always draw from the bottom. Or just take the gamble and hope there's nothing bad down there. So get to the bottom of a mystery. Explore the ocean floor. Become a used gum salesman. Go on a plumbing adventure. And make a subterranean escape. Now, I believe this is the only card type so far that's not in the base game of Exploding Kittens. So if you played Exploding Kittens and you've only played the base game, you never played any of the expansions, you probably haven't seen this card before. But I do like that they added it in here. Then finally, the last card we have is a brand new type. So this one has not been in Exploding Kittens at all, at least the physical card game. I'm not sure. There's the party edition. I don't remember if it's in there or not. But this is Clone. It says when you play this card, it becomes whatever is beneath it. So basically, you can copy the last card played. And then, ooh, we didn't read what that said. Just Clone, and he just has a copy covering the top there. Kind of funny. Link with a robot proxy. And create a pineapple body double. So I actually want to recheck on the rules for this one, just because it's a little different. So it says, play this card into the discard pile, and it becomes whatever card is beneath it, and adopts your rules. You cannot play a clone on top of another clone. If you draw an exploding minion and there's a diffused card on top of the discard pile, you can play a clone card as a diffuse, avoiding an explosion. You can play a clone with a minion card to form a pair and steal the card, but you cannot play a clone on top of a minion card played by another player. Because you use it as a pair of cards, you must play both of them. So it's saying I can clone the one I'm playing to make a duplicate, but I can't put it on. I can't just play one on top of the discard and have it count as two. I think that's the only one that really had maybe a little bit of ruleification that needed to be done. Alright, so that is what we have. So, just kind of reiterate what we said at the beginning. If you like Exploding Kittens and you're looking for a different version, maybe a little bit more family-friendly artwork, Exploding Minions is definitely the way to go. It'll play up to 5 players. Just the only downsides are you're not going to be able to buy the expansions. They have a lot more variety of different cards and different types and rules and stuff. But you can always look, if you don't mind the artwork, check out the other Exploding Kitten videos to see what's in them, see if it's something that's even interested in. Or you can just pick up this set. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.